Elton Trueblood, the former chaplain of Harvard and Stanford University, was reflecting on the aftermath of World War II. And he was looking at the few Christians who had the courage to oppose Adolf Hitler. In doing so, many of them were sent to concentration camps or to the gas chambers to die. Trueblood asked this question: what made these people different? Why did they say no to Hitler when everyone else said yes? His conclusion was simple. These Christians had the first commandment. In other words, God was first in their lives. When we have the first commandment and we take it seriously as a way of life, it gives us the courage to stand against the crowd. You might be asking the question, well, what is the first commandment? It's a reference to what Jesus was asked by some of the religious people one day. They said, what is the most important commandment in the law? Jesus told them this: you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. You can find that in Matthew chapter 22. So the question is, how do we love God with our heart, soul, and mind? Well, it's done by prioritizing God and putting God first in our lives. 3 simple and quick ways we can do it are to put God first with our time, our emotions, and our hearts. Time. This means that we intentionally create time for God. You are doing part of this right now by watching this video instead of scrolling through TikTok. But to take it a step further, spending time with God isn't something that we do when there's nothing else for us to do, but it's something that we do first. We put off watching TV until we've spent time with God. We spend time with God before scrolling through social media. We spend time with God first. This could be in prayer. It could be reading a chapter of scripture. It could be coming to church, but God comes first. Second, we put God first with our emotions. There are a variety of things that can affect our emotions. A bad grade on a test. A person that you're dating isn't really interested in you anymore. Challenges are taking place at home. You got cut from a team that you really wanted to play on. I mean, the list could go on. Putting God first with our emotions means that when these things happen, instead of running to our friends and family first, we go to God first. It could be a quick, God, this is how I'm feeling right now. But take some time to allow God to speak to your emotions first before going to others, and watch how His peace overtakes your circumstances. And lastly, we go to God with our hearts. This is an interesting one. See, we can list all the benefits of going to God first. I mean, He's the creator of the world. So He could fix anything in a moment's time. And the temptation might be to treat God like your rich best friend who can bankroll any of your needs. But that's not why we go to God first. We correct the desire as to why we put God first in our hearts. See, we put Him first in our hearts because without Him, I would have no hope. When I was in my sin, He saw me, reached down, and pulled me out through His Son, Jesus Christ. I go to God first because God deserves all my attention. So we go to God first with our time by making space for Him. We go to God first with our emotions by approaching Him first. And we go to God first in our hearts by keeping the motives of us seeking God in check. And by doing this, in time, we will see our lives be significantly changed. Well, that's all from me. See you guys next time.